And we're living local.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Commissioner Tim McCormick brings decades of public service experience to Ohio County. Tim stands with our first responders and police officers. He's committed to their continued funding while remaining fiscally responsible to Ohio County's future. As a county commissioner, Tim started the new Ohio County Ambulance Service and continues to support your local volunteer fire departments countywide. Re-elect Commissioner Tim McCormick. Experience working for you.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect McCormick Commissioner. Today is the day to go see your Toyota dealer and save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of. Like an off-road ready 2024 Runner or a rugged Tacoma, both with $1,000 cash back from Toyota. Or go with a 21 gas model Corolla, also with $1,000 back. Or check out the adventurous 2020 RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. Or spacious Highlander with seating for 8, both with up to $1,750 cash back. Take $2,000 cash back on a sporty new 2020 gas model Camry or $3,000 on a hybrid model Camry. Visit Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com for more great offers, to check out inventory, build your own Toyota, and to find a dealer near you. All to help make buying or leasing your next Toyota easy and affordable. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers exclude TRD Pro models and hybrid offers vary. See your dealer for details. Don't wait, because today is the day to go see your Toyota dealer. Offers end November 2nd. Toyota.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. Weather look at your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, periods of rain. Daytime high near 59. The overnight low of 46 degrees with a few scattered showers, otherwise mostly cloudy. You'll see temperatures back into the upper 40s for daytime highs. For your Thursday, mostly cloudy with showers on and off. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, old friends.
Hey, what are you doing here? About to go on the air.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
Wake up, fairy princesses, wake up!
Guess what day it is?
Get up before I get you up!
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Woo-hoo!
This is Wednesday. She calls it over the hump day.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Hump day.
Wednesday.
We ain't one at a time in here.
They broadcast me out on the radio.
We're mass communicating.
Let Wednesday begin.
Hit it!
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
We will try to hit all of those items, news, information, controversy, and fun over the course of the next couple of hours here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Welcome to Wednesday. Here's what I've got to offer you today. COVID concerns continue to rise, including local cases going up and a new Ohio County death. Our conversations with candidates will be sponsored by the local Building and Construction Trades Council, featuring Christian Turak running for the 3rd Delegate District. The 2nd state Senate race has been generating lots of discussion as the incumbent Republican Mike Maroney faces Marshall County teacher Josh Gary. Gary will join us today. We'll have some more Halloween fun, a look at how trick-or-treating this year will be different from previous years. Governor Justice is spending several days in this pre-election week handing out grants in multiple areas of the state, including here in the Wheeling area. The question I will raise is there a coincidence that it's election week? Plus, leaves for sale. Leaves for sale. I could make a fortune if I could sell the leaves in my front yard, but people are buying them online. A Gilligan's Island nuisance neighbor. And when the asteroid hits, Oreos will have a bunker to keep them safe. I've got all of this coming up for you this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. The legislative watchdogs are in this morning at 9 o'clock, as always. It's going to be, I thought today was going to be a good day, but actually it's another cloudy and rainy and curmudgeon day today. Rain and drizzle early morning will stop probably by mid-morning. Cloudy and overcast most of the day. Might see the sun peek through in the early afternoon. According to Zach over at the Big 7, it's going to be seasonable temperature-wise. 57 our predicted high. 50 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 50 and foggy here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 50 degrees at the Robinson Honor Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. 7:12, 12 minutes after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's good to be here from the home studio. I enjoy broadcasting from home. It means I get up a little bit later and, all that kind of stuff, and I don't have to spend as much time traveling. All that. Being here at home is nice. But Biffy, you know what I miss on Wednesdays?
The Watchdogs.
The camel.
Ah, yes.
I miss the camel. You know, is he still roaming around up there every Wednesday? Did they let him out of the pen on Wednesdays and let him wander the hallways and stuff on Wednesdays because it's hump day, hump day? Is he still up there?
He's still up there, but he hasn't been let out in a while. We might have to maybe let him out today just to roam for a minute.
Walk around a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But I miss the camel. I feel bad. You know, every hump day it was always fun to see the camel come, you know, wandering into the studio. There we come, you know. Two hump camel we have. We have a bicameral camel. And he would just come only on hump day. I mean, hump day is the only day we let him out, so he would come. He would come wandering in. But I miss the camel. I miss the camel because it is hump day. Hump day. Do you know what day it is? Hump day. Yep. So just certain things I do, and I miss seeing you, Biffy. Although I do see you once a week. Actually, I saw you twice last week. I think I popped in an extra day last week for something. I forget what, but.
Oh, I remember. You had to drop something off last week.
Oh, that's right. I had to drop off some election information for everybody. Wade. That's what it was. Yeah, exactly. Teddy, I mentioned to you all. By the way, great grandparents' day yesterday. It was purely a Zoom meeting, but they broke the kids at Wheeling Country Day School into individual groups of. I don't know how many kids were involved in each group. Maybe 6, 7 kids in a group, and then the parents had a specific time. We were at 11:30, for example, so we got to Zoom in. And all the kids showed us all the things they drew and took a little tour, Zoom tour of the classrooms and stuff. And then a really neat idea. Then they let us go into breakout rooms in Zoom. So it was simply my wife and I and Teddy and his other grandparents, just all of us together in what they call a breakout room. And we had a nice little chat. And it was lunchtime, so they told us to bring our lunch. I was the only one of my gang that brought a lunch. It said right there in the paper, it said, bring a lunch. So, it was going to be lunchtime. I said, bring a lunch. You can have lunch with your kids. So I said, well, of course I'll bring a lunch. So I had a nice ham sandwich. I had it all made and some Diet Dr. Pepper to drink. And I was ready. So when it was lunchtime, the teachers go, children, it's now lunchtime. You have lunch with your grandparents. And Teddy reached over and got his bag and pulled his lunch bag out and unzipped it and got his peanut butter and jelly out and his other items that were in there. I opened up my sandwich and I looked around and it's like, nobody else brought a sandwich.
I'm sure.
It said there in the paper, bring a lunch.
And I'm sure Teddy very much appreciated you having a ham sandwich, I'm sure.
Well, he kind of laughed about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Get that, you're having a sandwich.
Well, they said it was lunchtime. I mean...
It's right there in the paper. Right here. It said, grandparents, bring a lunch and have lunch with your child because it'll be lunchtime when you're doing it. So, I did. But that, and as soon as Teddy gets, I just opened mine up and pulled the sandwich out, and then, he kind of look around and you go, oh wait, no other grandparents brought any food. But I was all prepared because food is important in my life. Teddy's important, and close second comes food.
Yeah.
So I had to have my food. Teddy, I told you all had a trunk or treat Halloween event at his Lions Cub meeting at Vance Church last weekend. No, Monday night. It's Monday night. So he put on his giant eyeball because he's an eyeball this year, and all of his other friends in the Lions Cubs were putting on their costumes. They had a little trunk or treat there. I'm still not sure what trick or treat is going to be like this year. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't know what to expect on Halloween night. I don't know if kids are going to come door to door or not. Teddy's got a Halloween party to go to, so he won't be doing door to door. He and some of his friends, as he points out, his girlfriends. I tell you, this kid's got me worried. Granddaddy, I'm going to have a party with my girlfriends. Okay, all right.
Whatever you say, grandson.
It's cute at 5. It could be dangerous at 15. But at any rate, So, but I don't know. We normally, I mentioned a couple of days ago, I think when Zach was on, we normally get like 200 people on our street on trick or treat night. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know. New survey out of 2,000 adults, half of them were parents, and it says 75% of parents surveyed say they do intend to take their kids trick or treating this year, but on the average, they expect they'll let their kids knock on maybe 5 doors. 5 doors are the average. Just, I guess just to get a sense of trick or treating so you don't take the whole thing away from them, but not let them go up and down the whole neighborhood. So a third of parents say the houses they will allow their kids to go trick or treating to will be those of neighbors they know and they've already checked in with ahead of time to make sure they've not tested positive for COVID. Yes, is this Shirley Jones? Yes. This is Mr. Monroe, live up the street from you. Listen, I want to come door to dooring with my grandson, and I'm just checking. You don't have COVID, do you? I mean, Jesus.
Well, aren't they telling people that actually do decide to give out candy for Halloween not to just to sit on the porch, so that when the kids are walking by, that they don't have to knock on the door or whatever, so they're not touching anything. So when you see them, and I don't know if you meet them halfway up the steps or whatever, and give them the candy that way. I mean, that's. I wonder how many people are going to do that. I don't think there's going to be that many this year, just with the fact that how many people are going to be extra cautious and just decide, forget giving out candy this year, or maybe set like bags on the porch and come up and take a bag and go. I don't know.
That's what we're doing. My wife, I think I told you, again, I think I'm repeating some of this stuff. A couple of days ago, maybe over the weekend, she spent a good bit of time. We bought all the candy. She bought all the candy. I ate the candy. She bought the candy. But she made up little bags. So she took, several pieces of candy and put them in individual bags. I look like, glass bags, not glass bags, glassine bags. You know what I mean? See-through bags. And so I guess what we're going to do is just have these bags of candy in the pumpkin or in something, and kids can come up and reach in and take it out themselves. So as opposed to the normal deal, when I normally hand things out on that trick or treat, I just, put my old paw right there in the big pumpkin and grab a handful of food or a handful of, candy and dump it in their bag. Not going to do that this year. There'll be pre-made bags of candy, and the kids, however many kids there are, and I'm with you, Biffy, I don't think there will be that many. But they'll come up and simply reach in and get their own treat. But the average parent, according to the survey, will let their kids go into about 5. Well, the average will be 5 houses for trick or treating, and I get that. That's like, okay, we'll let you go out and do it. Don't want to steal Halloween from you completely, but we'll check 5 houses to make sure they're safe. We'll let you do that, and then come on back home. Now, 38% of the people who were surveyed on this said they're actually excited they don't have to hand out candy this year. They don't have to sit outside and hand out candy. So I love it. To me, it's fun, but I know a lot of people just feel obligated to do that. 70% of the parents surveyed in a different survey are spending more this Halloween year than last year to make up for the fact that Halloween will be different this year. What's interesting is, a couple of interesting things. First of all, it is dads that are pushing this bigger spending on Halloween as opposed to moms. 80% of dads who were surveyed say they plan to spend more on Halloween than moms did. That's interesting to me that it's adults. And what's the reason you're going to overspend this year? Well, one might think it's to let the kids have more fun, or because the kids are going to be deprived of some parts of Halloween, so let's spend more on them. Nope, the number one reason 54% of people surveyed say, 37% of people who are going to overspend say they want to look better than their neighbors.
You know what I thought it might have been? So they have extra candy left over to keep in the house?
Well, there is that too. There is that too. Here's some of the reasons that the people say they're spending more money this year than last year. One is just pretty simple. One guy just said, I felt pressured to spend on so many different things. Somebody else said, I wanted to impress people on social media. I can believe that. Look at what I did. Look at my decorations. Look at the costume my child has. Look at the costume I have. Look at the candy I got. You see my post? I've got selfies. Selfies. You can watch them. In fact, 38% of the people surveyed said they bought Halloween stuff just so they could post it on social media. Just, oh, that's a beautiful thing we could put in our yard. Oh, you mean for the neighbors to see? Oh, hell with the neighbors. I want to put it on Facebook. The number two answer is I want to make my kids happy. Well, there at least is a good answer. And number one, 37% of people who say they've broken the bank for Halloween this year said, I wanted my decorations to look as good as my neighbors. And so they're buying extra this year, buying more decorations and so on. Now, it's interesting. We are too, and I'm not sure what the reason is. But we have bought some additional decorations. I think Nancy's done a really good job of making our front yard very Halloween-y and very fall-like. You know, we always have some pumpkins out and some. And of course, we have a tree in front of the house with leaves that have fallen. So we got leaves on the yard, and then we've got a big blow-up witch, and we've got a big blow-up pumpkin, and we got all kinds of things out in the front yard. It's really nice. We have a nice little tableau. And now that I think about it on this story, I haven't even bothered to take a picture for social media. I'm going to go outside and take a picture and post it on social media if that's the important thing to do. So people can see how good we've done this year. That's one of the reasons people were doing extra spending this year. Let's see. Still on Halloween. 2/3 of Americans say they will do something for Halloween. But there are several things they will do differently. Decorating the yard is up 30%. That's true in our house. Again, I don't quite know why, but we decorated more this year than last year. Something else that people are doing differently this year for Halloween, staying in and watching scary movies, which we haven't done for a long time. When my kids, not my grandson, but when my kids were kids and were trick-or-treating, we always, Nancy would take them trick-or-treating, I would hand out the trick-or-treat treats, and then the kids would come back and we would have, and they would do it with some friends of theirs, and they would come back to the house and have pizza, and we would watch a scary movie of some kind. But we haven't done that in a long time. Maybe I'll pull a scary movie up. You all have recommendations for the scary movies that we could watch? Teddy won't be with us, just be Nancy and I, so it can be good and scary if you want us to. Of course, then I'll have a bad night's sleep because I'll have bad dreams and I'll be grumpy in the morning.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, you don't want that. Even though we will be getting an hour of sleep this weekend, I still don't think you want that.
People in the Northeast, which is us, and the Midwest are spending more money on decorations than anything else. People out west are spending more money on costumes, and people in the South are spending more money on candy. Them thar Southerners like their candy. So those are some Halloween tidbits I thought we'd get us started with this morning. Now, that's the fun stuff. Let's get serious. COVID concerns are really running rampant, and the numbers are rising again here locally. Just about every county has got something I need to tell you about this morning, and statewide, they're really keeping a close eye on things, as we talked about yesterday with Brad McElhenney, and the concerns are continuing to grow. So I've got a coronavirus update coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show, but first, tell you it's 50 degrees and foggy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport and at my home studios and at the Robinson Auto Group studios in downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia.
Yeah, we'll use the COVID opener. Yep. And you have the extra big voice announcer man that goes with it, right? Right. Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll come back with that. Well, that's good. Try and be that way. So seldom succeed. I like to at least start off for the first half hour, maybe making it work. That's good. We've got Aaron Moltz will be in studio, and Christian Torak, as far as I know, is calling in, but Christian Torak will be the guest at 8:10, and Josh Gary is calling in at 8:40. So that's the 8 o'clock hour for us. Yep. It was the only day. Gary's a teacher, so this is the only, he's off for some reason today. This is the only day he could do a segment with us. I wanted to get him in simply because, Donnie had Maroney on last week. I want to make sure we offer equal opportunity here. Yep.
Smoothly. There are no traffic issues near the Ohio Valley Mall, on 70 and 470, and on State Route 7. The single-lane closure on Cherry Hill Road from Betty Zane Road to Short Creek Road will continue. The single-lane closures in both directions on US 40 from Fulton to Bethany Pike will continue. McCulloch Street under I-70 will continue to have single-lane closures. The Market Street overpass with reduction will continue. The single-lane closures on Route 2 under I-70 will continue. I-70 construction will continue westbound where crossovers are in effect. And all existing detours and closures will continue for the I-70 Bridges project. Follow Ohio Valley Traffic Report on Facebook, WTRF 7 News, and the Watchdog for updates.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. Weather look at your local weather.
Continuing coverage of the
Daytime high near 59. The overnight low of 46 degrees with a few scattered showers, otherwise mostly cloudy. You'll see temperatures back into the upper 40s for daytime highs. For your Thursday, mostly cloudy with showers on and off. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
This is Coach Neil Brown, reminding you that the best game day coverage is found right here on your official radio home for West Virginia University football.
The Watchdog. Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
COVID-19 update.
Continuing coverage of the year America shut down continues on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Yeah, I had to drag the old coronavirus update theme out of storage. We did it early in the coronavirus pandemic and put it away when I thought we were getting better. We're getting worse. So daily updates on the numbers that you need to know about. In Ohio County yesterday, the Wheeling, Ohio County Health Department said we now have the ninth death of an Ohio County resident from complications related to COVID-19. The individual was hospitalized at the time of death and passed away. No other information about he or she, no age, no anything about that as far as I know here. In addition, the health department is announcing 14 new positive cases of COVID-19 in Ohio County. I believe this is at least the third day in a row, if not more than that, at least the third day in a row, Biff, where Ohio County is registering double-digit cases per day. Currently, Ohio County's health department reports a total of 550 cases. As I mentioned, now 9 deaths. Single positive COVID-19 cases identified at St. Michael's Parish School, a teacher involved there. Ritchie Elementary School, teacher or staff involved there with cases of COVID. Wheeling Central, as we pointed out yesterday, where students were involved. Ohio County Schools, the Transportation Department, where staff were involved. So the health department is following all of those stories. But we're up to 550 total cases in Ohio County, double digits for the third day in a row, 14 new ones, including a new death. Marshall County Health Department had 13 positive cases and 7 probable cases in Marshall County. So the numbers are rising there as well. At least Marshall County gives us some more information about the individuals. I'm not going to run down all 13 of them, but they do tell us a bit more about the individuals. First is a female in her 50s. Second is a female in her 50s. Third, a female in her 20s. This is in Marshall County. Fourth, a female in her 90s. The fifth is a male in his 60s. Sixth is a male in his 70s. Seventh, a female in her 70s. And the eighth, a female in her 30s. There's one thing you can clearly see with these numbers from Marshall County, Biff, and since they give us a little bit more information. A, it hits both men and women. We've got males and females here, probably equally divided or close to it. And B, excuse me. And B, they range in age from their 20s, their 40s, their 60s, and the 70s. Sounds like a radio station. From the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s.
Playing all the hits.
The best music of the 50s, 60s. I shouldn't make fun of it, no. But my point is, it's a reminder that COVID-19 is hitting everybody across the board. This idea that it only hits old folks or only hits young folks or only hits whoever, not true. Just look at those numbers, specifically those numbers out of Marshall County. Wetzel County remains in the orange advisory. Marshall County moved to gold yesterday after the DHHR map came out. That's not the controlling map for the education department, but that's the DHHR map. Wetzel County still in orange for the second day in a row. Currently, Wetzel County holds the third highest infection rate in the state, with 35.09, a percent positivity rate of 5.65. Marshall County is in gold, as I mentioned. The rest of the Northern Panhandle remains green. That's on the DHHR map. Of course, we're all green on the Department of Education map, so take all those things for a grain of salt. And in the Buckeye State, in Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine yesterday is calling it the red wave. And he says the red wave of coronavirus is spreading to all corners of Ohio. 82 of the state's 88 counties in Ohio meet the CDC definition of high incidence for COVID-19. Now, here's the good news. Belmont County is one of the handful of counties, literally the handful of counties, that does not fall in that high incident category. So that's good news. But across the state, 82 out of 88 counties are officially declared high incidence by CDC. And West Virginia's daily COVID infection rate is now back up above 3%. I said we had one additional death in Ohio County. Across the state yesterday, 8 additional deaths, all of them people over the age of 50. Total virus deaths from coronavirus in West Virginia, 432. Active cases right now in West Virginia, 4,428. That's active cases. 483 new cases between Monday morning and Tuesday morning, during the day on Monday, basically. And again, West Virginia's daily rate is now above 3% at 3.47%, which is not a good number to be looking at. So, and the hospitalizations yesterday, 221. Yesterday's statewide hospitalizations from COVID were bigger than they have been at any other time in the pandemic, including the early days, the April and May days when we literally were shut down. So 221, the biggest number of hospitalized patients since the whole thing began. Which is just, all of this is just my way of reminding you that this thing ain't over by a long shot yet. Masks, social distancing, wash your hands. If I can use the umbrella phrase, don't be stupid. It's as simple as that. And we'll wait for the vaccine to come. But you can see those here locally. Basically, the numbers are rising everywhere and pretty much all across the board. 7:37, 23 before the hour. We are in pre-election week. We'll have some pre-election conversation with candidates coming up next hour. Also talk about some of the upcoming dates you need to be aware of if you're going to vote by mail, if you're going to go early vote, some things you need to know. And I bring you some numbers that Mac Warner's office put out yesterday about how the early voting is going and absentee balloting is going. Just put some numbers behind the story. And we'll talk in a minute or two also about Governor Justice, who is going to be in Wheeling. Is Wheeling today? Yeah, he's going to be in Wheeling today, North Central West Virginia, and one other place today, handing out money, handing out grants. Let me think for a second. Is there any reason he might be doing it this week? Oh, wait, the election's a week away. Could it possibly be a little politicking going on here with taxpayer money? We'll talk about it. But we'll talk about the Ohio Valley headlines first. Our friends from the Big 7 are here to do that. 7:38, 22 till the hour, 50 degrees and foggy.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto.
Winds do not follow recommended safety measures. Governor DeWine says another shutdown may be necessary. That was a look at your headlines. Have a wonderful Wednesday, everyone.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are the champions of Major League Baseball. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 6 of the World Series, 3-1, to win that best-of-7, 4-2. Corey Seager was named the most valuable player of the series. Mookie Betts homered in the game. He became the first player in Major League Baseball history to have a 3-year span in which he won the World Series, 2 different teams. Remember, a couple of years ago, Mookie won a World Series championship with the Boston Red Sox. First title for L.A. since 1988. And how about Justin Turner of the Dodgers? He tested positive for COVID-19. He was removed from the game in the 8th inning after receiving the news. And after the game, he was seen on the playing field celebrating with his teammates without a mask. The NFL has announced that week number 10 game between the Steelers and the Bengals will kick off at 4:25 instead of 1 o'clock. Meanwhile, this Sunday, the Steelers visit the Baltimore Ravens in a 1 o'clock kickoff. The Ravens have signed 3-time Pro Bowler wide receiver Des Bryant to their practice squad. Des has been out of football for 2 years. Be safe. Check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
WKKX and WVLY voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
Conversation you care about from people you know. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
We had some Halloween conversation earlier this morning. Do a few more Halloween stories before the day is over and done with. So happy Halloween, Ohio Valley. The Harmony House Children's Advocacy Center is having their first online Monster Mash Bash fundraiser this week. The basket winner will be announced on Facebook Live tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. For info about this, you can go to visit harmonyhousecacwv.org. harmonyhousecacwv.org. Get more information. But it's their annual online Monster Mash Bash fundraiser. You can get basket and event information on their website under the events section, or just go to the Facebook page for Harmony House and get that. And if you post a costume picture on the Facebook page, you could win the Monster of the Mash trophy and a surprise basket. So a thank you from Harmony House for taking part in this. If you do, for your vital and virtual contributions this year, even more so than last year. And again, the winners will be announced tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on the Harmony House Facebook page with Facebook Live. It's 7:43, 17 till the hour. Let's bring Zach Petty in here from the Big Seven. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Howard. How are you this Wednesday?
I'm good. Now you're a young, fresh out of college, first job kind of guy, and that means everything's always tight. Are you going to like dress up on a trick-or-treat night and go around and try and get some free candy to, help, save you some money or anything?
No, I'm actually one of those people that waits until the holiday is over, and then I go to the supermarket or the grocery store and buy the candy half off.
A very wise man indeed. Very wise man indeed. All right, that makes perfect. Biffy's smarter than we thought.
What do you expect? He went to Penn State.
Yeah, I know a thing.
Smarter than we thought. Yeah. So you're not putting on a costume. You could go as Dr. Dave.
Yeah, I could definitely. Hey, I have the 7 News jackets. All I would need would be a little gray hair on top and maybe just a couple inches taller, and I could possibly pass as Dr. Dave. I'm not as entertaining as he is, though. He's a hoot.
And when you walk up to the house, you would go, "Trick or treat, I'm Dr. Dave."
And he always reads one of our promos, and I just start reading the promo like he does. Yeah, absolutely. For the latest in weather,
just an option.
Download our Storm Tracker app.
It's just an option, just something for you to think about. You could go as Dr. Dave. It wouldn't work for you to go as Taylor or something. That wouldn't work. So, but Dr. Dave,
No.
you can maybe go as Dr. Dave.
I'll think about that for sure.
All right, just something to think about. Hey, I thought today was going to be a better day than it looks like it's going to be. Earlier in the week, I thought you said today would be a nice day.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Howard, the weather's always changing. Whenever I looked at things 24 hours ago, I didn't see an upper-level shortwave that actually was making an appearance into the forecast. A lot of the models actually missed it, and I guess we can say, well, kind of the weatherman was wrong. I'll be right about the temperatures, but I did not expect to see much in terms of rain. And again, that's another thing that's I'm looking at weather from 24 hours ago. The model data is a little older. I get the model updates right around 9 o'clock is when new model data becomes available for us for our updated radars and everything. And yeah, looks just not too nice of a morning. And hopefully things do perk up a little bit, but it looks like we're still noticing some light rain in through the northern panhandle as well as up into Jefferson County. Some rain showers traversing their way through, and yeah, I wish it could be better, but I'll chalk this one up as a my bad.
It's going to be cloudy and overcast most of the day, although I did note you say that we might see a little bit of sunshine later in the day. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a chance. It looks like after 12 o'clock we could see a glimmer or two of sun rays peeking out of the rather gray and dull-looking clouds. Hopefully that is the case. It looks like radar and predictor have been forecasting that trend, that the sky coverage gives up a little bit, but nothing in terms of like wall-to-wall coverage or clearing out completely. Just the clouds might clear, and you might be the lucky person or the lucky house that gets that glimmer of sunshine over the area, and everyone else will be like, oh, well, why can't that be over our house? And like, well, hey, something good must have happened to them to get that sunshine.
But 57, the predicted high for the day. And then, so that'll be pretty much the day today, cloudy and overcast and maybe a little bit of sunshine, but and seasonable temperatures. But I guess when does tomorrow's going to be a really good soaking rain. When does that start?
So it looks like it's going to start overnight tonight and into Thursday morning. I'm timing it out right around 4 o'clock is when the rain's going to start, Howard. When the rain
going to start? When the rain going to start there?
It's Tweety Bird. Yeah, Tweety Bird's asking. And Sylvester's like, well, I don't know yet. Well, no, the rain's going to start right around 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it looks like it's going to be sticking around with us through the morning hours as well as into the afternoon. It looks like it's going to, like you said, a soaking rain, not much in terms of letting up. There could be some pockets and periods of heavier rains and downpours, but still looks like it's just going to be a complete washout for tomorrow. So any events, you might want to try to pull those inside or just stay inside, order takeout for lunch and dinner, and just stay out of the outdoors as best as you can.
If you have to go out, you're going to need an umbrella, but it sounds to me like with a good soaking rain that way, the umbrella is not going to be your best bet. Just the best bet, stay indoors if you can, right?
Absolutely. You better want to get the umbrellas warmed up. I know we always say, oh, well, I'm going out for the run, so you get your legs warmed up, you do some calisthenics, you get some stretches in. You might want to open and close that umbrella a few times to make sure there's not any holes in them. Just because it's going to be one of those soaking rains that if there's a hole, it's definitely going to be exploited tomorrow with the soaking rain. But one positive note, Howard, about tomorrow is we're only 4 weeks away from Thanksgiving past tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I didn't check today. I've been checking most days the Christmas countdown. Christmas is coming fairly quickly as well. So
yep.
But so we are heading into the holiday season. We got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming. We were kicking around here in our household again yesterday how we're going to handle Thanksgiving, what we're going to do. We have just decided there's no way we can have anything that resembles a big family Thanksgiving get-together. We may have my son and daughter-in-law and grandson who are here every night anyway, so we're all sort of COVID quarantined together, if you will. But
right,
I can't see the rest of the family coming, and I'll miss that. I love the big family holidays, but I just don't think it's going to happen this year. So I think everybody's got to rethink all this. We're rethinking Halloween. We were talking about that earlier this morning, Zach. And a lot of people were saying they're only going to let their kids go to a handful of houses, and they're actually pre-checking the houses their kids go to make sure that nobody there has COVID, calling ahead of time, saying, my kid's going to come to your door. Are you going to, have you had a test, or are you positive? Just this whole world has just changed so much this year. It's depressing, to be honest with you, when I look at the holiday season coming up, and we're going to have another holiday season where everybody's going to have to probably stay away from families a lot more than they want to.
Exactly, yeah. It's 2020. Definitely been one to forget, but unfortunately we're not going to be forgetting this one anytime soon.
I was looking forward to a good holiday season this year, Christmas in particular. You were not with us, but last Christmas I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I got out like 2 days before Christmas, and I was still half doped up during the actual Christmas holiday itself, and so I was really looking forward to getting back to the family Christmas this year. But I know we're a little bit further out. Maybe things will change, but I don't think so. And I just don't think we're going to see. It's just not going to be a big family Christmas, nor family Thanksgiving for that matter.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's unfortunate for sure.
57 days, 16 hours, 8 minutes, and 34 seconds, by the way, till Christmas, in case you're curious.
30, 29, 28, 27.
27, 20. It just keeps on coming. All right, Zach, the weekend. Let's do a quick recap of the weekend. What are you looking forward to there?
Well, hey, anyone who's going out for trick-or-treating on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, it's looking like a good day to just be outside and soak in the sun since we haven't seen it much. And actually, Saturday night, we're actually going to be ushering in a blue moon, the second full moon of the month of October. And this actually hasn't happened since 1944, so get out to see once in some people's lifetimes experience, but it will be coming back again. You just have to wait until 2039 to see another Halloween full moon. And then we set the clocks back on Sunday. We go back an hour. We lose an hour of daylight, gain an hour of sleep, but mostly cloudy skies and a stray shower or possible sprinkle later on in the afternoon and evening to kick things off on November.
All right, so not the world's best week, but again, it's fall. We're heading into the fall. We are in the fall season, so all right. Today, 50 degrees is what I saw the last temperature check at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Foggy outside my home studio here, and I guess that's pretty much the case around the upper Ohio Valley.
That is correct, Howard.
All right, Zach, appreciate your time today, as always. I want you to practice this. Trick or treat, I'm Dr. Dave. Trick or treat, I'm Dr. Dave. Trick or treat, I'm Dr. Dave, and the forecast is tricks if you don't treat me. I don't know. Just work on it.
I'll get on that. I will.
All right. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we'll
have a great day. Our buddy Zach over the Big 7 WTRF TV this morning. What do you think, Biff? Could he go on? Could he go as Dr. Dave?
I think he could pull it off.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Dave. Trick or treat. I think he would scare people.
Yeah, you got to be careful how you do it. You don't want to do it to where you scare the kids.
Yes, just be a little bit careful. Exactly. 7 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 304-214-1600 is your line to use if you want to on the text line. 304-214-1600. We are heading towards Election Day. We are less than a week away from Election Day now. We're in the midst of early voting as well. Some numbers from the Secretary of State's office in case you're curious. 126,147 votes have already been cast in person during early voting. 114,059 absentee ballots have been cast as of this morning. Add those two together and you get, at this moment, an 18.9% turnout in West Virginia so far. That is more than half of the votes cast in the June 9th primary and 1/3 of the votes cast already in the total 2016 presidential election. So early voting and absentee are becoming a really big deal. It seems to be true throughout the state. I have not checked with the Ohio counties. I was going to go down and vote yesterday and then didn't get a chance to do that. All right, I'll be honest, I fell asleep. But I was going to go vote yesterday at the early voting. I have not yet sent my absentee ballot in, but I thought maybe at this stage of the game I'd just go down and do the early voting at the election board. But I have not heard how turnout is recently. First couple of days it was really busy.
And Howard, I think today is actually the last day request the absentee ballot?
Correct. Today is the last day you can request an absentee ballot. Now, it's not the last day you can mail your absentee ballot in. Again, let's be clear about this. But the last day to request an absentee ballot is today. You can do it at your county clerk's office. You can use the govotewv.com website, and there is a form there. It's very easy to fill out. I know some people, I saw some, oh, it's so hard. Oh, crap. I did it. It's really easy to fill out. And so that counts as your request. So today is the last day to request an absentee ballot. Last day for early voting is this Saturday, so you've got a couple more days to do early voting if you want to. Election day, of course, is November the 3rd, but today's the last day to request that absentee ballot. And then you can mail your absentee ballot in whenever you want to, but keep in mind it's got to be received. No, it's got to be postmarked by Election Day. If it is postmarked Election Day, and isn't delivered until after Election Day, it will still count. But timing is now really, really critical. I mean, we're what, 6 days away, right?
Yeah, 6 days.
6 days. 6 days from the election. So if you request an absentee ballot today, it's going to take a day or two to get to you. Then you got to fill it out and mail it back. And again, you can mail it back, or you can even take it down and turn it in on Election Day if you want to. I don't know if you can turn it into your polling place. You might have to turn it into the county clerk's office. I'm not sure about that. But you can turn your absentee ballot in physically if you want to, or mail it in if you want to. But again, if you request an absentee ballot today, I don't know how quickly it turns around, but let's even assume one day, which is maybe too fast. If you would get it tomorrow, you only have then, 5 days left to fill it out, get it in the mail, and get it back. So timing is really critical at this stage of the game if you're starting to think about that. So those are some things to remember. Let's see, with any other numbers here I wanted to share with you. Across the country, at the end of the day, Monday, these numbers are Monday's numbers. The end of the day on Monday, Americans had cast 66 million early ballots. Again, that's absentee and early voting. That's 19 million more pre-election votes that were cast in the 2016 election. Not total election, but pre-election. 19 million more pre-election votes have already been cast than were cast in the 2016 presidential election. What does all that mean? I don't know how you interpret that, whether it's Trump or Biden, whether it's, Solango or Justice. I don't know who is going to benefit, but clearly there is a significant amount of enthusiasm out there to get to the polls and vote. And I will suspect that we're having record absentee, record early voting. I suspect we will have record day of voting as well. One of the questions is everybody going to vote early via absentee or early voting and then not go to the polls on election day? I suspect we'll have a large number on election day as well. This is going to be a major turnout election. And then the question is, who's that benefit? And honestly, the excellent political analyst that I am, I have a firm answer for you. My answer, who will that benefit? I don't know. I don't know. I do know that it's 8 o'clock. It's time to check in with ABC. They'll cover the world for us. Then we're going to talk with the candidates in the next hour of the show, starting off with Christian Turek, who is running for the 3rd District delegate seat in Marshall County. And following that, Josh Gary will be in, who's running for the state senatorial seat in the 2nd District. So we have a lot of territory to cover in our number dose of the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
The new ABC News Washington Post poll shows the lead widening in a key battleground state where the pandemic has become issue number 1. In Wisconsin, President Trump is trailing by 17 points among likely voters. In Michigan, he trails by 7 points. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
This appears to be a reflection of the toll that Trump is taking from his handling of the coronavirus. Wisconsin now is the 3rd in the nation in COVID cases per capita, with a 53% increase in
No violence, tearing up the city, looting up the stores, and all this chaos going.
Wildfires still burning in Orange County, California. 2 fires scorching around 30,000 acres and forcing the evacuations of 90,000 homes. In Oklahoma and North Texas, it's ice, an ice storm blamed for over 300,000 power outages in Oklahoma. The family of Vanessa Guillen, the soldier found dead after disappearing from Fort Hood, meeting with an Army general. Here's ABC's Louis Martinez.
The Guillen family met with General John Murray, who was leading the combined investigation of Fort Hood's leadership. Specifically, he's looking at how the chain of command at the base handled Vanessa Guillen's disappearance. Her family had complained that the base did not do enough to find her when she initially went missing in April. Murray's investigation is still underway, and it's unclear when it will conclude. Louis Martinez, ABC News, Washington.
Satellite photos now showing new construction at a nuclear facility in Iran. The UN's nuclear agency says Tehran is rebuilding an advanced centrifuge after one of it was sabotaged last summer. This is ABC News.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage,
And play-by-play. We'll do that first, and then we'll go to the candidates. So we'll play the candidate interview after you and I talk about sports a little bit. Okay, very good. And did you hear me talk about what I said there? You and I will do just a quick sports update in terms of what we got high school sports line tonight, right? And then that's all we have tonight, right? And then maybe we can quickly talk about what we're going to do this weekend. We know what Central's going to do now, right? That's right. So we'll do a real quick segment on that very fast, and then you can play the opening for the candidates, and we'll go to them. Okay. All right. I'm going to go grab another can of pop real quick. I'll be right back.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Commissioner Tim McCormick brings decades of public service experience to Ohio County. Tim stands with our first responders and police officers. He's committed to their continued funding while remaining fiscally responsible to Ohio County's future. As a county commissioner, Tim started the new Ohio County Ambulance Service and continues to support your local volunteer fire departments countywide. Re-elect Commissioner Tim McCormick. Experience working for you.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect McCormick Commissioner.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. Weather look at your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, periods of rain. Daytime high near 59. The overnight low of 46 degrees with a few scattered showers, otherwise mostly cloudy. You'll see temperatures back into the upper 40s for daytime highs. For your Thursday, mostly cloudy with showers on and off. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone. It's a crazy morning over here.
It is National Chocolate Day.
October 28th, National Chocolate Day.
I love chocolate.
It's chocolate. I love chocolate.
Chocolate. I smell chocolate.
Today to celebrate all things chocolate.
I have some chocolate. Chocolate! And you know I love that.
Not as much as I love chocolate. It's showtime.
On air, online, on demand, and on video. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, we are talking today about COVID concerns. They continue to rise across the country, including local cases. A new death in Ohio County has been noted. Another double-digit day of positive tests in Ohio County. Wetzel County is among the highest in the state now in terms of infection levels, and Marshall County had another double-digit day as well. And as we talked about last hour, the cases in Marshall County roam from people in their 20s to their 90s, and men and women, male and female. So it shows how COVID is, not necessarily picking on any one particular group or another. Our conversation with candidates will continue here in just a moment or two, sponsored by the local building construction trade, featuring Christian Turek, who's running for the 3rd Delegate District. And later on this hour, second state Senate race is generating lots of controversy and discussion as the incumbent Mike Maroney faces Marshall County teacher Josh Gary. Josh is with us a bit later on. We'll have some fun stuff if I have time for it. I came across some folks who are selling leaves online. I got a yard full. You're welcome to them. So we'll talk about that and a few other things coming up. Looking for a dreary day yet again today. Rain this morning, drizzle. Maybe we'll stop that, but it's going to be overcast all day long. Some sunshine could pop in briefly for a while this afternoon. Daytime high about 57. Soaking rain begins tonight, and soaking rain continues all day during the day tomorrow. Very quickly, before I get to our guests, a quick look down the road here on the Watchdog. First of all, coming up today at 10 on Statewide Talk Line, I believe this is the only time the two men will meet each other. It's going to be an hour-long, I don't know if debate's the right word, but an hour-long discussion with Republican Attorney General Patrick Morrisey and his Democrat challenger, Sam Petzong. They will be together, I think, in the studio with Hoppy from 10 until 11 o'clock today. So Petsonk and Morrissey will go at each other. I assume they will go at each other over the course of the first hour of Statewide Talk Line. Also want to call to your attention tonight is High School Sports Line here on the Watchdog, beginning at 7 o'clock, right, Biffy?
Yep, 7 to 9 tonight, the High School Sports Line.
And then we've been talking all week. We carry the Central games, and we weren't sure what was going to happen this weekend because of COVID issues and fields and so on and so forth. I think we've got it settled now. Is that right?
Yes, we do. Williamstown and Wheeling Central will be Friday at 7 o'clock at West Liberty University.
I think that was your idea yesterday, Biffy.
Well, one of them in case St. Clairsville fell through and there were only a couple other different options. But, yeah, West Lib was one of them, and they got everything worked out yesterday, and here we are ready for Friday night.
All right, we'll have the game for you here from West Liberty University's field coming up on Friday night. And we'll talk about more of our schedule as the week progresses. I want to do a couple of quick political notes here. Yesterday, Natalie Tennant was in town yesterday, and we promoted this ahead of time. Natalie, the former Secretary of State, running for her office again. She had made some announcements about a new program she'd like to get started when she gets reelected. What I took note of, Biff, did you see Natalie's Facebook page yesterday?
Yeah, she was at the Carlos.
She went to the Carlos. Got to come to Wheeling, have some DeCarlo's pizza. No mistaking about that. And today at 11:30, Ben Salango is in town with a honk and wave. The gubernatorial candidate, Ben Salango, today 11:30 until 12:30 at a honk and wave, or as we say, a honk.
Beep beep.
There you go, and wave at the intersection of Sheets and Tim Hortons, right by my church there on National Road. So, a couple of political notes I wanted to get along to you. Now let's get to our candidates.
The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues. These conversations with candidates are sponsored by the Upper Ohio Valley Building and Construction Trades.
And they always send a minder for me. I call him my minder. Aaron Maltz is with us this morning. Aaron, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Howard. How are you?
Good. It's good to have you here with us. What are you and the unions doing this final week ahead of the election? Anything? Or are you just sitting back waiting for it to come?
Some of us are calling our members. Well, a lot of us are. We obviously get the call sheets because we can't go door to door. We're helping candidates do literature drops, and of course we'll be at the honk and wave and stuff today. Anything we can do virtually or, to ease the public's mind as far as the COVID goes. We're not going to be knocking on your door face to face, but we do a lot of sharing on Facebook and putting stuff on our Building and Trades Facebook page, things like that.
I have noticed at my house more literature drops. People are not coming. I mean, nobody's knocking the door and saying, "Hey, I am," but they're dropping literature off on the front porch, so we have a chance to take a look at it. It seems to me the last week or so that's picked up from a lot of different candidates.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safest way right now. It's a weird election year,
It is a very weird election year. Well, with you this morning, you have yet another one of our candidates, the union-supported candidates, right?
Yes, across the board.
Christian Turak is with us this morning. He is an attorney with our good friends at Gold, Corey, and Turak, and he's running for the, I guess it's the third delegate. I always lose track of the numbers. Third delegate district. Is that right, Christian? Third delegate district?
It's the 4th district.
I'm sorry, fourth. I apologize. Okay. Well, I said I lose track of the district. Like, we're the third district.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, okay, you're right. We're the third delegate district. What's wrong with me? What prompted this? What prompted you to come up and say, I'm going to run for office?
Well, I mean, I think it's what I do at Gold, Corey, and Turak. I'm the oil and gas attorney here, so I've seen the impacts of the industry in our community, both good and both bad. I've seen the billions of dollars that are being pumped out of our community, and saw that we weren't getting that support back from Charleston in the form of the oil and gas tax severance revenue that's being generated here. It goes down to Charleston, pennies come back up here, and our community's suffering. So, I had a lot of clients come to me and, say, hey, what can we do? Why is it the way it is? And I didn't have a good answer for them. And kind of what I realized that people were looking for me to provide answers, looking for me to do something about it. And the opportunity arose. So I just said, hey, let's go try to do something about it. That's how I got involved, and of course, it's just gone on from there.
That is one of your key issues, and I have argued this for years. I still don't understand why, and Marshall County in particular, sends huge amount of severance tax money out, and we should get more than our fair share. We should get our fair share back, and our fair share does not mean an equal share with everybody else. I don't understand why we don't have a law that puts it back so that gas money is reinvested where gas money comes out of. But that's an issue that you want to really tackle if you get in the legislature. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is the question. I mean, why is the way it is? The only thing that I can, the only conclusion I've come to is that the Northern Panhandle is just it's ignored down in Charleston. So we need good leaders down there, leaders that are going to fight for our community and that can make a difference. We can't just send people down there to push a button and vote. We need people down there who have a voice. So, that's the only conclusion I can come to, though. We're ignored and we need to change that.
You phrased it a good way, I think, a few minutes ago, Christian, and maybe you can elaborate on this. Look, the reality is that the gas industry is good for our area and good for the economy in many ways. Now, there are downsides to it. There are downsides to it in terms of the problems they cause on the roads and other things, but it is a good and bad package rolled together. I guess one of the most important things that we have to do, the legislature needs to do, is to balance the good with the bad and find a way to make the good even out the bad. And it certainly seems to me that one of the ways is by making sure that the places that are impacted the most by the gas industry are the ones that get support from the gas tax. And that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we need to get our fair share from Charleston and from these oil and gas tax severance revenues, and the fair share doesn't mean just keep us where we were before. I mean, our community should be improving by this. It does provide a lot of benefits, but our roads get worse year after year after year. Our volunteer fire departments are closing year after year after year. Our police and emergency services are taking a hit from the industry here and all the added burdens it has. So, we're not even keeping level right now with where we were before. And my point is we shouldn't be asking just to keep level. We should really be taking advantage of the benefits of the gas industry here, and we're not. We're not even keeping, the status quo that we had before the industry was here. But it does. It provides a great deal of benefits, and I just think we're not maximizing it here. I think Charleston is maximizing it. I mean, the state got $162 million from oil and gas severance taxes in 2019. Marshall and Ohio counties got $2.6 million back. I mean, that does not even come close to the downsides that this industry has on our communities here. And of course, there are a lot of good sides as well. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But we just need to make sure that they're in balance, like you said.
Marshall County is either the largest or certainly one of the top largest producers of gas in the state. Am I right about that? So we send a lot of taxpayer, or not taxpayer dollars, but we send a lot of gas dollars to Charleston, more so than almost every other county. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think other than Doddridge County and, maybe Wetzel County, Marshall County is right there, number 2, number 3 as far as natural gas producing counties in our state. And, the industry's everywhere here. I live up on one of the ridges here outside of Moundsville on 250. And, there's trucks going by left and right. Here we are in a pandemic and, natural gas prices are hovering somewhere between $1 and $2 an MCF. And you still see all the drilling going on around us. You still see them drilling pads. You still see them putting pipelines in the ground. So it's here. We are one of the highest producing counties. Like I said, number 2, number 3. They've only gone through, I don't even know what to put a number on it, but, tip of the iceberg as far as drilling in Marshall County here. So it's going to be here for years to come. And we have an opportunity to make it right. We have an opportunity to get our fair share here. It's just, it's been about 10 years now that we've seen this industry in our community. And if we don't get it done soon, I fear that, by the time we do get it together, most of the drilling is going to be done, and we're going to miss a great opportunity here.
You mentioned a minute ago the roads, and certainly it's true that the gas industry has led to some of our roads getting into worse repair than they were before. But the truth of the matter is, our roads in Marshall County is, again, a good example of it, but all around the Panhandle and most parts of the state, we've got a real problem with our roads in general. It's not just because of the gas industry, but I don't know what it is, whether it's been lack of attention in the past or whatever, but
absolutely,
at some point, people are getting a little frustrated with the way our condition of our roads.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I've been all up and down all these roads, first with all my clients here. You know, my clients are, they live in the country. You know, my clients aren't down in Benwood or McMecken usually. You know, they're people that live, 20, 30, 40 minutes outside of town, have a 200-acre farm, a 50-acre farm, or just, a 20-acre place out on one of the ridges here. So I've been all up and down these roads, obviously campaigning here, doing a lot of literature jobs. I've seen every inch of this county, I feel like, at this point. So I've been on the roads. I've seen the condition they are, and you're 100% right. I mean, I'm not just pointing the finger at the oil and gas industry and saying, these roads were pristine roads, and it's you that has come in here and made a mess out of them. First, I think they were never engineered properly. I mean, they're not engineered roads. They're just old pathways that have been paved over. So you see a lot of slipping and things like that. I just think that the oil and gas industry is exacerbating an already bad condition that we have here. So when we talk about the roads of the state being in disrepair, of course it's the same thing up here, but you have all this diesel truck traffic, sandbox trucks coming up and down the road, water trucks coming up and down the road. So they're making a bad situation 10 times worse. I think we have a great DOH district here. The people that I've talked to, the people that I've seen on the road, people I've seen doing the work out here, they've been great. They're underfunded, they're undermanned. The way that DOH funds are distributed to the state, I think is not equitable. Again, I think we're ignored by Charleston when it comes to certain things like this. I mean, our DOH district goes all the way from Hancock County all the way down to Doddridge County. How do you cover that geographical area, with one district, with one head? I don't understand that, but that's a different subject. But it is. I mean, I'm not pointing the finger at the oil and gas industry. The roads weren't great to begin with. They're making it 10 times worse. They're only going after and repairing the roads that they make 10 times worse when they're absolutely forced to. And when they do a good job. But, I've run into the situation before. Nixon Ridge out here is a good example. You have 3 different companies using Nixon Ridge. And, if you ask one company, who's destroying the road out here, because I have seen it before, the companies came out there and it was in a lot better shape. They're going to point the finger at the other 2. And if you ask somebody else, they're going to point the finger at the other 2. So how do you keep track of that? And how is DOH going to go to these companies and say, well, you need to take care of that, or you need to take care of that, or it's a constantly moving target, and I don't know necessarily what the best solution is. I just know we need more funding here from Charleston to help us out.
I was going to ask you, what's the solution to that, though? I'm sitting here listening to you talk, and I recognize the problem, and I don't know the solution. Finger pointing is a hard thing to solve.
Well, of course. I mean, that's what everyone says. Hey, we know there's a problem there, and I've heard before, what's the solution? And the solution, obviously, is it's more funding. And that's why I go back to, what do we have that we can tap into here to provide that more funding? Because we're not a wealthy state. I mean, no one's going to sit here and tell you that we're a wealthy state and we just have money lying around to fix all of our roads. But what we do have here in Marshall County, like I've been beating on here for the last 6 months, a year, is, we have a robust oil and gas industry here. Again, Charleston's getting all that money. That's why I propose that we double our local share here, so that we can take those increased funds that we would get from Charleston to put them specifically towards these projects here. That's what I would like to see. And I also think that we could marginally increase severance taxes to provide more revenue for everybody. I think if you look at where we are compared to the other states in the country, I think we're middle of the pack, even a little bit on the low side in our severance tax. It's 5% of the gross proceeds. I think we could raise that a little bit without impacting industry. I mean, there was a study done by Arkansas when they were deciding whether they should raise their severance taxes to a higher rate than what we have now, or a higher rate than I would even propose to raise it to. And it had a minimal impact on the industry. Now, obviously, we're not Arkansas, we're West Virginia, things are different. But I think we can't be afraid to go to these companies, and tell them that, hey, you're not paying your fair share here. You need to do a little bit more. We welcome industry in our community, but we want it to be on a fair basis here. So I think we can do those two things. I think, one, we can raise our severance tax to get us, average, if not a little bit on the high side here. I don't think it would impact industry. Two, I think we need a more equitable take back from Charleston. And I think we get those two things in here, we can devote some real serious money to fixing our roads. I think that could be a great source of revenue for them.
Christian,
Do you have
I
any
have a
other thoughts on other ways to generate? I'm sorry, go ahead, Aaron. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I had a question for Christian. Do you see, like, the crafts and what we see traveling these roads too, that, the Louisiana plates and everything, you have a lot of out-of-state workers on these well pads, especially when the gas has a downslide. I mean, I've heard a lot of people in the legislature talk about it, but nobody's done anything other than the candidates that we endorse, it seems. Nobody cares. Obviously, Maroney, your opposition out there, they don't care. But, I mean, why not an incentive program as well? If you're going to build here and you're going to work in the gas industry and you hire 85 to 90% local, we may give you a little better tax break. But, the local people need to know that the wages they're paying them is not, they're not high wages. I mean, a lot of people will argue on Facebook, oh, I'm making $80,000, $100,000 a year working on this well pad, you're going to shut down gas. But they're working 90 hours a week and paying them $12 an hour. It's not $25 to $30 an hour with benefits, paying their family. It's $12 an hour. And everyone's confused thinking, oh, I make all this money, but you shouldn't have to work 90 hours. So there's a couple things in that statement I made. If you use local people, the tax goes back to West Virginia. They don't move back to Louisiana at Christmas, file their claim, and suck all that money back out of West Virginia. I mean, at some point, our property taxes and everything's going to have to go up in the state of West Virginia because you don't have your workers, your local people doing the jobs. Not that income tax isn't coming back into the system either.
Well, I mean, I agree with you 100%. That's one of my gripes has been, because this industry isn't, it didn't happen yesterday. I mean, the Marcellus boom here hit off about 10 years ago in our area. I have seen very little investment here to train our workers for this industry here. And that's why you consistently see, like you said, Louisiana plates and Utah plates and Texas plates. I mean, it's, I joke around here, you can drive around Marshall County, you can probably see license plates from all 50 states if you look hard enough. Why aren't those local jobs here? I don't know. I just know I don't see any investment in ourselves so we can take advantage and have local workers at these jobs. But you're 100% right as well, though. These are high-paying jobs, but, they're not 40-hour work week jobs. They're not 50-hour work week jobs. I mean, these guys are working left and right. I mean, they go out, they work, they come back late at night, they sleep, they wake up early the next morning, they go right back at it. It might be a good job for a young guy out there without a family who's just wants to make a boatload of money. That's great. It's a great opportunity for him, but, that's not a job necessarily that's going to support a man who has a family, who has commitments outside of work. And I think that's where, guys like you come in with our unions there to, make sure that we don't have to work 90 days or 90 hours a week to put food on the table and get a high-paying job. There needs to be a balance there. And I think we need to incentivize these companies in some way to hire local. I think the problem that I see is no matter how much we incentivize them there, we don't have the workforce yet because we haven't invested in ourselves here. And like I said, that's one of my major gripes here is that, we're trying to attract business to our state. We're trying to attract business to our community here. We want people to invest in us, but sometimes we fail to invest in ourselves. And that goes to education. That goes to, and not just education for college and things like that. It's education for technical trades and skilled trades. Why don't we have pipeliners here? Why haven't we invested in that? I don't know, but until we do, we're going to continue to see those license plates from out of state.
Well, you live in Marshall County too, right, Christian? I mean,
yes.
And one thing about Marshall County, I will say, is the trade shows and the stuff we put on. The schools in Marshall County are getting it right. They want to come to the trade schools. They bring us into our schools. I mean, they're very interested in that type of life as well. And they're telling their students, if you don't want to go to college, it's okay. You're not a failure, and you're part of that community. I mean, Marshall County is a really strong community when it comes to that. And
yeah, I mean, John Marshall is. I'm amazed by John Marshall. For a high school in this kind of community here to have the programs that it has, and it has a machine shop in there. It has I think a mechanic shop as well, a woodworking shop. It has not that it's really talking what we're talking about, but they have a whole news studio down there in the basement. And it's really amazing the opportunities to get their kids there. And I think that's what we need. We have made that investment in John Marshall to prepare, our children to get a head start into those careers. And like you said, I mean, college isn't for everybody. We've seen that over the last 20 years where, the national sentiment has been to push every student into college. College is the future. College is the future. And it is. I mean, an education is great, and that doesn't mean that's the only education or that's the right fit for everybody. We're a blue-collar working community here. There's a lot more people like you, Aaron, than there are people like me, and that's a great thing. Those hard-working values that we have there. That's the household I grew up in. That's what our state's all about. That's what our community is all about. So John Marshall's made that investment, and I know you guys have been very active in promoting that. But I think we need some investment from the state. It's money. Put your money where your mouth is. Northern. What has Northern done to promote these trades in the oil and gas industry? And I know they have done some things, and it's not a point the finger at Northern. It's where are they getting the money to start these programs? Charleston could really help, and I call it an investment. You're not giving money away. You're investing in our future. So, like you say, Aaron, when we have local workers here, they're filing taxes in West Virginia. They're living in West Virginia. They're going out to restaurants in West Virginia. They're sending their kids to school in West Virginia. Every dollar you spend in yourself, you're going to see it come back 2, 3, 4 times in investment. So we need to do it. The time is now. Time is slipping away. Like I said, it's been 10 years we've seen this industry. Are we going to wait another 10 years, or are we going to get our act together and do something sooner rather than later?
Christian, I'm almost out of time for this segment, and I have so many other things I want to get into, but let me give you the last word here. Final thoughts this week before election week that you want Marshall County voters, 4th District delegate voters, to be aware of about you and about the race and about your positions?
Well, I mean, I would just encourage, as I've been doing from the beginning here, we're in a weird time. It's a weird campaign with everything going on. I plan to spend a lot of time going door to door, talking to people. Haven't had that opportunity. So, I've been trying to make myself available as much as possible. I just encourage everybody out there, if you have a question, you want to talk to me, look me up on Facebook, give me a call in my office. I'm always available. I'd love to talk to you because this is a very important race. We have, it's there's 3 people running for 2 seats here. It's very important about whether we're going to have a voice down in Charleston. I know Lisa Zukoff's done a great job. She's on the ballot as well. Joe Canistrar did a great job advocating for our community down here. He's running for prosecutor now. Look into us, determine for yourself who best speaks for Marshall County here. Obviously, I would tell you that, I'm the person that speaks best for us. I'm the one that can go down there, talk with these guys, not just push a button, be an effective, active leader for our community back here because we need it. We're ignored and we're not going to be able to just go down there, show up and expect anything to change. We need someone to go down there who's going to fight for us, and that's what I plan on doing.
Check out Christian's website or his Facebook page, and I appreciate your being with us this morning. You mentioned Lisa and Joe, both of whom I reach out to frequently, so once you're elected, you can expect probably a lot of calls from me in the early morning saying, you got a few minutes to talk to us.
Well,
We'll,
I'd like to say in closing too, I mean, West Virginians want good candidates, and you're not gonna get any better candidates than Christian Turak and Lisa Zukov. I mean, they're right there. And they work both sides of the aisle, they listen to all constituents, and they're the clear choice, period. I mean, Christian is working his butt off. I've seen it. He's working like crazy for this spot. And for what? He's a lawyer. He doesn't need the money down in Charleston. You know what I mean? Let's look at the facts. But he's a great candidate. We need him down there.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Aaron, I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate the building construction trades folks from sponsoring these segments over the pre-election weeks. Hopefully, folks have gotten the chance to know these candidates a bit better and understand their positions. And I appreciate you being here today and the whole gang helping us out with this. And Christian, again, good luck to you as the election comes. Won't be too far away, so hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon. Gentlemen, I got to move on. Thank you both for being with us this morning. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Brother Biff, we're going to check Tony Caridi's Morning Mountaineer Report after we check some headlines, and then we'll continue talking politics. The 2nd Senatorial District race coming up next.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and ABC Ohio.
All right, do whatever you have to do. Do as minimal as you have to do, but what we have to do, and then I'll get him on, and then we'll be done. Put the camel away and bring in the watchdogs. I've got nothing to drink. What do I want? Do I want coffee or Dr. Pepper? Biff, do I need more coffee or Dr. Pepper? Well, my Dr. Pepper caffeine, yeah, it's in the diet. It's with that. All right, I'm gonna make some coffee. I'll be right back. I'm back, Biff.
The one thing that we're going to stress with him, he's got to go back to being a one-cut guy. Get vertical, patted his feet more in the game against Kansas and then this game against Texas Tech than he did. That's kind of where he got in trouble last year. So we've got to get back where he's really making a one stick cut and then getting vertical.
Mountaineer head coach Neil Brown. Join us for the Neil Brown Show tomorrow here on the Mountaineer Sports Network from 6 until 8 o'clock. That is today's Mountaineer Report. It's brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
He rambles, he rants, and sometimes he sings. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
We continue candidate conversations this morning, less than a week away from Election Day. One of the more interesting races that we're watching here in the Upper Ohio Valley is that for the 2nd Senatorial District, where incumbent Republican Mike Maroney is facing a challenge from teacher and teachers union leader Josh Gary. Josh and I haven't had a chance to talk too much over the election because his schedule and our schedules don't meld very often, but we had a chance to get together today, so I want to welcome him to the show this morning. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Howard.
This race is generating a lot of interest, and let's be brutally honest about it. Part of the reason is the incumbent is facing unusual legal allegations, prostitution related. The question I have for you is, how important do you think that really is in this election? Is that a distraction, or is it important for voters to consider the allegations, whether they're legitimate or not? And I want to quickly point out Senator Maroney last week on the Donnie Gilbert show said that in this most recent round, he was not at home and supposedly a hooker was there and so on. I don't want to get into the truthfulness, yes or no, of it, but simply the fact that it's out there, how important is that to you, do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty important. I mean, people want their leaders to follow the law, and if he's not following the law, then that's definitely going to call into question his ability to lead as a government official. It also is a major distraction for him, and it's been going on for quite a while, and I think it's safe to say that it has distracted him from his job as a legislator.
So the issue is maybe, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. It's not so much necessarily the morality of what the charge is, but simply what it does to his ability to act as a legislator, yes?
I believe so, yes.
And if you were in a debate with him, would you bring this issue up then? And what would you ask him? How would you phrase this if you were debating Senator Maroney if you were debating Senator Maroney, period, and you wanted to bring up the issue of the prostitution charges? What are the things you would like to know from him directly?
Well, I guess I would, first of all, I'd like to say that I have asked him to debate me, and he has, so far to this point, we've had nothing from his camp. But I would probably say, okay, if it has been, it's not true, other than saying, hey, these things aren't true, why has it been going on for over a year? Why has nothing been settled when most of the other cases have been settled? And then we have a second charge that has come up. So this kind of constitutes a bit of a pattern. Now, everybody, has a kind of a right to defend themselves, and I'm not going to impugn his right to defend himself, but
presumption of innocence. Presumption of innocence. Yeah, exactly.
But multiple charges over well over a year in time, it calls into question what is going on and why is it taking so long.
I think that's a very fair question, and that's one of the things I would like to know. If the original charge, and again, it goes back almost a year, I forget the exact date, but almost a year. If the original charge is not true, then why not just get that issue before a trial, jury, or a judge, or what have you, and deal with the facts of the case? And to be brutally honest, if it is true, I think an awful lot of people, to be honest with you, Josh, say, well, prostitution probably shouldn't even be illegal, so why not just accept the responsibility and move on? It has been a delay and a delay, and I know his attorney is pretty good about, doing that kind of thing, but I'm just not sure why the delay. And then and I want to stress if this second allegation that the police did find a woman that they say came out of his house who was a known hooker, if that is true, that she was visiting him for purposes of sex, the issue to me goes a lot to judgment. I mean, whether or not you think it's a good idea or bad idea, prostitution is the first time is one thing. You're sitting with a charge already surrounding you. If it's true and you do it again, that goes to an issue of judgment.
I would completely agree. And whether or not it should be legal or illegal is not the issue. It is legal. And if it is true and he is an elected official, which he is, why is it that he, would be above the law?
Josh, the other issue that is seems to be central in the discussions in this particular race, and I'll let you pick some things you think also are important, but this is the other thing that I see a lot of attention being focused on, is Senator Maroney's frequent absenteeism. Going back to his beginning, I don't think he showed up at the first special session that he was involved with at all. I think that was the education session. I could be wrong, but very, very
He
seldom
missed a lot, yeah.
He misses a lot of votes. That is also a fairly big issue in my mind.
I think it's an even bigger issue, honestly, because when you run for office and you're elected, you are sent there to serve your constituents, and you should be there the entire time. It doesn't matter what your regular day job is. If I am lucky enough to be elected, and I think I have a very good chance to be, I have to take a leave of absence from my job, and I would do so and be there for the full session and any special sessions each and every day. I understand, some things happen where, you're sick or there are emergencies, but these were just days that he just didn't want to be there, apparently, and that's just wrong. If you're elected for that job, you agree to be there, period.
You answered an issue I wanted to place before you, which is, as a teacher, you also have a full-time job. Senator Maroney is a medical professional. He has a full-time job. Part of his argument is that sometimes he just can't get away. He has to be at the hospital, has to be doing the things he has to do. If you were to be elected, you also have a full-time job. How do you avoid the absenteeism? I think you addressed that, but let's talk about it a bit more. How do you not end up saying, I'm sorry, I got to be in class?
Well, I would, honestly, I take a leave of absence and they have somebody fill in for me while I'm gone. And those people follow my lesson plans that I set up for them. So I'm actually kind of pulling double duty. I set things up for somebody to replace me, but then they teach it, and I take an unpaid leave of absence. Commissioner Mike Farrow, when he was delegate for 10 years, did the same thing while he was a teacher. And we've had other teachers across the state that do the same thing. So it's not something that's not done. But when teachers have done that, they take unpaid leave. So it's not like they're getting paid to do two jobs, because they're not. And I wouldn't be either.
Education has been a centerpiece of several recent sessions, and likely will be a big issue again moving forward. I would assume you feel that your background as a teacher and as a teachers union representative gives you a little insight, maybe a little greater perspective on this than maybe the average legislator?
I would like to think so. I've been pretty involved in trying to get our local and other state legislators, to adopt some of the ideas that we feel are important. And a lot of the education legislation that's been coming through in the last several years has not been, as we should say, helpful to the education of our students, and that needs to change.
If you are elected, you will be serving come this next session, begins in February if all goes well. I say it that way because Roger Henshaw talked about maybe delaying it, but if it goes as planned, start in February. What as a teacher, what as an educator, what as a representative of educators, do you think ought to be on the agenda for the session in terms of education? What are education issues you think are still unresolved that need to be resolved?
Well, the promise of a discussion to fix the PEIA issue, which is Public Employees Insurance Agency, still has not been taken care of. It's kind of just been forgotten about, even though it was something that was promised back in 2018. There are other education issues as well that probably need to come up, but there's other important issues as well. I'm not there just to work on education issues, although that is my background. I think there are other important issues that our state faces, our infrastructure problems. We have pretty much done very little, although the governor has gone around the state and started throwing around money now that the campaign's in full swing, trying to take care of things with roads and infrastructure issues such as broadband and water and sewage issues, which honestly our state is pretty far behind on a lot of these things. We're still functioning on infrastructure designed in the mid-20th century. And that plans for improvements need done now. And the leadership the last 4 years has done very little on that. The broadband issue that the governor's finally paying a little bit of attention to, if we had started planning for this years ago when people were asking for it, people like myself who have to communicate with our students via the internet on many occasions because we're in and out of school due to COVID, it's an issue, it's a problem, and that could have been very greatly improved upon instead of waiting for when it had to be taken care of. Those are just some of the issues. And the opioid crisis is still an ongoing issue. And COVID itself, the Senate leadership, the governor, while, they seem to be trying to take care of things, it just seems like they let it go way too long.
When Lisa Zukoff ran for this seat several terms ago, was not elected but ran for it, I remember her telling me that one of the things she had to really learn were the different need. We in this area tend to think of the 2nd Senatorial District as Marshall County, but actually it's not. It's a much larger district. And Lisa had to learn that each part of the district had different concerns. Have you found that to be the case?
Oh, yes. And I talked to Lisa a good bit. She's a friend of mine. And she was one of the people that told me, Josh, you can do this. And I will tell you right now, you need to get out and start traveling. And I have been. I put about 10,000 miles on my vehicle traveling around the district. Even though there's a lot less places to go because of COVID, not many things are happening, as many things are happening as usually would be during a political campaign. But it's quite a district. All are parts of Dunn County. So there are various issues in Calhoun County that are different from Marshall County. And I try and get around as much as I can, and I will continue to if I'm elected, because all the people of this 2nd district need or have different issues, and I want to try and take care of as many of those issues as I possibly can, and I promise that I will.
Josh, your website, or you've got a Facebook page, but do you have a website as well?
Yeah, joshgary4wv.com. All my issues
and
are
I
on
think
there.
as this last time, is for the numeral or spell it out?
FOR.
FOR. Josh Gary for WV or West Virginia? I'm sorry.
WV.
Okay, Josh Gary for FORWV.com. Okay, people can find out more there. as I pointed out at the beginning, we haven't had a lot of chance, you and I, to talk on the radio because our schedules don't mesh very well. So I'm glad we had at least a brief opportunity this morning to bring people up to speed on what you're thinking and what's going on. And we'll find out what happens in less than 1 week. So good luck to you during the upcoming week.
Well, thank you very much, Howard. I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Josh Gary has been with us this morning here, running for the 2nd Senatorial District in West Virginia. Again, we tend to think of it as Marshall County, but it's a much, much larger district than just Marshall County, running against incumbent Mike Maroney. And again, that race is getting a lot of attention, if for no other reason than Maroney's legal issues involving prostitution. And again, however you feel about that, the question is, does that become a distraction? I tell you what's not distracting me is the fact that it's over and done with for the day. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock with a go around of the big gig. Until then, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring, don't get in peace, don't retire. Ticker keeps on ticking, don't overeat, and most importantly, Teddy says it's okay. You can go back to work tomorrow, Granddad. I'll be here tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. Are you back with me, Brother Biff?
I'm back for a Thursday.
The dogs are next, and we'll just keep on doing it till we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Johnson has damaged
the candidates on, but it was the only time I had Josh to get him on, so I had to do it that way. All right, have a good time with the dogs. I'll see you in an hour or so. I'll be down there. All right, everything okay? I didn't ask you. Everything working all right this morning? Oh, well, okay. It's pretty good. We made till 9. That's a good thing. If all's working well, all the way up till 9 o'clock. If it's going to go bad, if it's going to go bad, it usually goes bad before this. So hopefully it'll stay that way. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Thanks a lot. All right, bye.
Is cracking down, banning indoor dining at Chicago restaurants and bars later this week. Another blow to an already hard-hit industry and setting up a fight with city leaders.
COVID-19 showing up in the 7th inning of the Dodgers World Series win last night. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles.
It was late in the game when Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner was abruptly removed after he had been playing. Turner reportedly testing positive for COVID-19. The results coming back during the game. He was pulled as his team went on to win the World Series.
Fans in LA after the game.
Finally happy LA has something to celebrate. Lakers and Dodgers. Couldn't be a better time to be in LA right now.
Couldn't be a worse time possibly to be along the Gulf Coast as another hurricane takes aim at southeast Louisiana. A.J. Moody's business is in Gulfport, Mississippi.
This is the 4th time this year. It's the 4th time in what, 2 months? It's the way of life in Mississippi. You're going to live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you got to be prepared.
Zeta is a Category 1 hurricane expected to hit later today. You're listening to ABC News.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contactless to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor